Hey friends, welcome back to the vlog. It's me, Amy Rebecca, just a very average girl trying to figure out how to live a not so average life and taking you along on the journey. Time is it? I have 15 minutes before I need to leave. So happy Friday, I guess. I'm shocked by this information. I thought it was Thursday today. I've been so sick since last weekend. I know that's all I ever seem to be saying is that I'm sick, but whatever this is that I have, I just cannot expel it from my body. It won't leave. And every time I feel like I'm starting to feel a little bit better, then the next thing I know, I'm worse again. So I lost a whole day this week of just like sleeping, and so my brain can't get on board for it to be Friday. I would have started this vlog a lot earlier on in the week, but I literally just sat under a blanket for like 3 days straight. I do not have big exciting plans for today necessarily. I'm gonna go out and get my hair done, which is a shame because I think it looks really cute today, right? Shame to waste this, but I'm about to go and get it washed and blow dried. Then I have to go for a meeting at the park that I'm working for, which is why I am dressed like a rambler. Then I'm probably gonna work from home for the rest of the day, and tonight I'm going out for like a girly festive evening out with my friend Kerry, which I'm really looking forward to, and I'm so glad that I am not a sneezing ball of germs today. Any other day of the week I just would not have been able to make it tonight, but I feel good enough that I can go. So let's down this coffee and get to the hairdressers. All of this is inside my car. It's like being in a sinking boat. Oh hey, I wish you'd been here a few hours ago when I first got out of the hair salon, because my hair was looking a 10 out of 10. And since then, the wind has gotten to it, and I've stood with my hood up out in the park in the cold and the drizzle, and I think it definitely shows. Get this. So going out tonight with my friend Kerry is my one like festive social event that I have planned. I've got family stuff planned, but in terms of friends, that was kind of it, because I'm a hermit, I'm an introvert. So we were gonna go out, get all fancy, go over to the marina, have some cocktails. Last night I looked at the weather forecast and there was an amber weather warning, and I was like, do you know what, we'll take an umbrella. We have now moved to a red weather warning and like a full-blown storm. So we have adjusted our plans, and instead of driving into Swansea, which is about a 25-minute drive, we're just gonna stick close to home and go out for a meal instead, because that way we can just get into the car park, scoot on out, have something to eat, scoot back on into the car, and hopefully not end up like drowned rats. And also it avoids driving too far in a storm. I have still got some work to finish up, so I'm gonna pull out my little laptop and do my work from home thing, and then I'm gonna attempt to salvage this. It looked so good when my hairdresser did it. And then attempt to salvage the evening, because the storm is already coming in and it doesn't look great, but we make the best of it. Okay, I just finished all my work for the day, and the storm situation is really escalating. I got an email from Tesco to say that my grocery delivery has been cancelled because of the weather. They're cancelling all deliveries. And I was like, okay, seems a little bit dramatic maybe. Then I got a message from the local council who said that they were closing all parks, cemeteries, and essentially all public facilities until Sunday. And I'm starting to think maybe it's actually going to be pretty intense then. I have a very worryingly relaxed view about weather. I think it comes from living in Vietnam. I mean, I used to, ride home from work on a motorbike in already horrific traffic in a typhoon. And I'm not saying that was a great time. It wasn't a great time. But it has made me look at British weather and think, just a bit nippy though, isn't it? Just a bit of a breeze. And that's not good, because storms can be really dangerous. The wind is really picking up, I can hear it. I'm so glad that Kerry and I changed our plans so that we're going to be really close to home. Yikes. This storm is crazy. Also, I took 2 ZQuils last night to help me sleep through the storm, and now I am really struggling to be awake. Probably should have just stuck with one. I had such a nice time last night. The food was amazing. I didn't vlog much of it. I'm not very good at vlogging out in public generally when I'm doing things, because I always forget. I'm very much like in the moment and I forget to like bring my camera out and film things. But also I feel like a meal is not that vlog worthy. Like I can show you what I ate. That's pretty much it. And at one point all across the pub this siren noise went off and everyone was looking around like, is that the fire alarm? We really don't want to evacuate, there's a storm outside. And then maybe like 2 minutes later it happened again and I realised it was coming from our phones. It was one of those government safety warnings about the storm, and every kind of 2 to 3 minutes more people would get the alert. So for about 20 minutes we just had people's phone government safety sirens going off. I need to have some coffee to counteract this sequel, but I am not going outside today. Do you even hear that? I foresee this very much being a PJs and Christmas movies kind of day. Well, I was a woman of my word yesterday, and all I did all day was sit under a blanket and watch movies. The storm got really bad. I heard the road was closed that leads not like out of my street, but the next street. So even if I'd wanted to, I don't think I could have made it very far. I saw videos from kind of like towns surrounding mine where the roof blew off their house. I saw it on TikTok. You could see into their house because the roof was just gone. So many cars were crushed by trees. So I did stay inside all day and I didn't move. And my body definitely needed another day of just sitting around and doing nothing. Like my brain is over it. I'm not someone who's good at resting. I'm not good at being still. I like my days to be full and active and productive, and I like to be able to say, yes, I really made that count. Probably to a point that's maybe a little bit toxic and self-destructive, maybe. Like I just don't like to rest. I don't find a lot of enjoyment in it. But this lurgy has really knocked me on my butt, and I've been forced to slow down and rest. And last night I was feeling kind of gloomy about it because I feel like I'm missing out on the lead up to Christmas because I've been sick, because I've been staying in, I haven't been going out, like I've just been resting, my least favorite thing to do. And I hate that, but this like weird guilt started to creep in where I was like, you have achieved nothing so far, like your Vlogmas is so boring, like you haven't done anything productive, you haven't been to the gym. And it's like, yeah, I've been sick, so I know logically I can't do the things that I want to do. It would be counterproductive, but I can't escape that mindset sometimes that I should be doing more. And then last night I sat down and I watched a YouTube video from Kelty O'Connor. I just started subscribing to her channel like last month and I'm obsessed because I feel like she and I, our brains they work similarly. She just put out this video where for 30 days she didn't do anything productive. And she was talking about how much of a struggle that was for her because she's like me, she doesn't like to rest. Always looking for the next challenge, the next thing. How can I make my life better? How can I be better? And I resonated with that video so much, and she said something that I had never thought of before, and I was like, oh, that might change a lot of things for me. She said, you know, when you have one of those days where you sit down and you just veg out all day and then you get antsy, like I want to go out and do things, that's when you know that you are fully rested. And I very rarely give myself the opportunity to get to that point because I don't like that feeling of being antsy and wanting to get out and do things. I like to be doing things ahead of time. But when you're constantly like on the go and chasing after the next accomplishment and trying to pile more onto your plate, you are at risk of burning out. And I think maybe one of the reasons that I've been hit with this lurgy and found it so difficult to bounce back is because maybe my body is just like, girl, just sit down. And so I got to a point yesterday where I was like, I am truly really done with resting. Like I feel that antsiness, and I was like, okay, so maybe that means I have finally rested enough. Does that make sense? I actually gave myself an opportunity to be bored. And now I have medicine from the doctor, so I am really hoping that things are going to start to pick up. Today I am going to get out because, like I said, I need to. I'm gonna go to the cinema today and watch Wicked, which I'm really excited about. I actually went maybe 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and watched it live on stage. And I was meant to go see the new film last week, but I was too sick. I just couldn't drag myself up out of bed. Finally getting to go see that. I think I might take myself out for a little walk later, and then I'm gonna wrap some Christmas presents later and get into the festive mood. I just got in from seeing Wicked and it definitely lived up to the hype. Why am I so close to the kitchen cabinet? What was a real shame was, like, right before the film was about to start, this family came in and sat across from us, and they had a really small child with them, a little boy, and he looked about 4 or 5 years old, and immediately in my head I'm like, oh no. Because it's not a children's film at all. It's really long. The themes in it are quite adult and complex. There's a lot of, like, really slow dialogue, and no 4 or 5 year old is going to want to sit still in the cinema for 2.5 hours to watch that. Like, it's not. There's a reason that children's movies are really short and snappy, and they switch scenes a lot. And yeah, Wicked has got a lot going on in it. Visually incredible, but, like, not a children's film. And sure enough, that small child talked and shrieked and kicked the seat in front of him really loudly, pretty much from the start to the end. I was really optimistic that at one point one of the adults would, like, take one for the team and, like, take him out and miss the rest of the film, and they just didn't. They didn't. We moved seats to get away from them, and that definitely helped. But, like, cinema etiquette has just gone out of the window. Have you noticed? I saw 3 different people scrolling on their phones in the cinema, and, like, I know I sound like a true Karen at this point, but I don't care because I think I'm right. Like, if you're going to the cinema, you're in a public space. It's kind of like on entering the cinema, you're all going there with the intention to watch a film, and you shouldn't do something to hinder other people's experience. Like, I just think it's important to think about people outside of yourself in life generally, but that's really amplified in the cinema, because if you're acting rudely, it's really quiet so everyone can hear you, and it's very obvious that it's you are being the selfish person. I wonder if they could maybe bring in, like, screenings for people who just want to, like, kind of watch but kind of talk and kind of scroll. Maybe that is the answer. Like, oh, screenings for people who can't sit quietly the duration of a film. I don't know. But yeah, I very rarely go to the cinema at this point, because the last few times I've gone, it's been really stressful. And people being loud at the cinema is just one of my biggest pet peeves. Like, just don't. Just stay home. Wait for it to come out on DVD. DVD, like streaming. I'm showing my age now. Anyway, it was still a spectacular film, and I'm already excited to watch it again. Ready for bed, and you know what, I thought to myself, before I wrap up my vlog and then tuck myself in for the night, I'm just gonna add a few things into my monthly budget. And then I was like, actually, while I'm here, I'm gonna reflect on what I've spent throughout the year, so that way I can decide what I want next year's budget to look like and how I'm going to set up those finances. And then I was like, let me just check on my investment portfolio really quickly. You know, it's been an hour and a half. It's really late now, and I have to get up tomorrow early and go to the gym. So on that note, we're gonna wrap up this vlog right here, right now. Outro is as erratic as my hair right now. Please remember that you are enough just as you are. I love you so much.